what we mean by greenlighting is noticing and attending to whatever's arising internally. It is allowing, accepting, embracing, giving permission to whatever anxious, regretful, fearful, jealous, sad, angry, resentful, or soothing, delighted, exuberant, thrilled, enthusiastic, ecstatic feeling that you might observe. And it's really noticing and leaning into those inner feelings. Now, it might seem redundant to say inner feelings, but I do that because greenlighting is an internal process, actually, just as awakening is an internal process. And knowing your conscious nature is an interior recognition of something that is infinite and eternal. And infinite doesn't mean a really big space, and eternal doesn't mean a really long time. It's not. It's non-spatial and non-temporal. This recognition of something interior, and Kabir Helminsky has observed that sensation, bodily sensation, is the threshold between the inner and outer worlds. And since following the sensation is the central core of greenlighting, its practice occurs right here in the midst of this limited, dense, contingent, three-dimensional body-mind. And it's a practice that involves consistency, but that requires delicacy. And I really like the really exquisitely subtle distinction that Andrea Gibson makes when she says, don't try harder, try softer. Or we could say it like the Taoist masters say, follow the water, seek the low. They call this Wu Wei, the art of not doing. And it's a lot like that. Greenlighting is an ever subtler exploration of non-doing. We just gently stay with whatever we are noticing, and our attention is following the lead of that subtle sensation. And that allows the contraction at its source to release, or at least to, relax a bit. And we're talking about tissue level stuff here. What we're doing is gently and slowly undoing the vital shock of embodiment that we all incur when we come into this realm. Yeah. And greenlighting is what makes Trillium a tantric process. Now, I should say, contrary to a lot of popular understanding, Tantra, in its original expression, is not all about making a spiritual practice out of having great sex. It's an authentic spiritual lineage with a comprehensive understanding that considers matter in general and the body in particular to be essential parts of ultimate reality. It's not illusory. It's real. It's every bit as real, divine, and important as spirit, as Samuel used to say. Your body and your feelings and all the vicissitudes of your personal story are all part of your spiritual practice in this work. One thing also that sets us a little bit apart is that, unlike most spiritual and religious traditions, we don't have a lot of lifestyle do's and don'ts here. These traditions generally have some version of the Judeo-Christian Ten Commandments, which have 7 don'ts and 3 do's. A good example might be yoga, fairly well known in the West by now. And it's a whole lot more than just bending and stretching on a mat, actually. It's one of the 6 systems of Indian philosophy and is said to have 8 dimensions or 8 limbs. And the first 2 of which are called yamas and niyamas, which are, as you might expect, do's and don'ts. And by contrast, Tantra asks the revolutionary question, what if there's nothing to renounce? What if awakening can happen right in the trenches of everyday life? What if all those well-intentioned lists of do's and don'ts are not essential to awakening? Down through the ages, that has been seen as a dangerous question, and it's what makes this work both rapid and sometimes troublesome. Well, often troublesome and occasionally risky. Tantra says that the best way forward is not to go over or under or around difficult feelings, but right through them. We say we consciously and intentionally embrace whatever's coming up. We try surrender. When we accept and allow, we surrender to what is in the moment. And rather than repressing or distracting, we authentically feel what's actually true, what is real. And as a result of spontaneously releasing some of the tension at the base of that sensation, some of the contraction, we move more authentically and more gently through the world. Yeah.